Hello, I'm Kika, and this is humanity's end of days. I have been getting a lot of signs to finally make videos, and so that's what I'm going to start doing. And it's just to share my story, I guess you could say. My life, my energy, my understanding. It's just time. It's just time. I'm getting a lot of signs that it's just time, and so it's kind of hard to say where exactly to start. That's kind of been my issue. I've been playing around with this concept for a while, but how do I start when I'm in the middle of things? And it could be said for all of us. It's the same way. Um, and so I'm just going to kind of go off and kind of start in the middle, I guess, because what else can we do? There's really no beginning. There's no particular end, even though things are constantly beginning and ending at the same time. So I'll kind of say it's very important that we get connected with the truth. And one of the things that I think is very important to understand is what most people call God. And for some people, it's a dirty word, and I can understand why. Uh, One of the things that I'll do on this channel and in my conversations is that I respect polarity, and I see in most cases that talking about one thing or saying one thing also opens up the other side of the door, is a manner of speaking, and that's okay. That's natural. That's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. Um, that I see it more like a polarity of masculine and feminine, a polarity of subjective and objective. It's not of good and evil, and that is while good and evil exist, they don't exist in the context of that kind of it doesn't demonize polarity or force a situation to there always be evil, even though the concept and the energy patterns of that can exist all the time, which may or may not make sense to some people, but it's more of a concept of let's individualize it, right? As an individual, I don't always have to experience evil in order to live in polarity and work with polarity. And the best, easiest way for me to say this is something that I'm going to reveal. It's something that God revealed to me. It is a joke. It is the truth. And it's, I guess, the truest statement that I can possibly say. In some ways, this is the name of God, and it's more of a phrase. And there's different ways to say it, and the faiths and the religions, the spiritual circles, which say that the true God is unnameable, I kind of agree with. Uh, and there's different variations of saying it. Yahweh, um, I am that I am. Those are approximations, and what I'm about to say, what I view as the name of God, in air quotes, is essentially the same. It's an approximation, and so it works for me. It may not work for everybody, and I understand that. And that's also why I would say it's extremely important to develop a personal relationship with God. Um, I can share my own relationship, and I think that's important that we do that. But it's not your relationship, if that makes any sense. So let's get going. Let's get to it, right? So I'm about to say the statement. Are you ready? Have I prepped it enough? There is only one absolute. There it is, and that's it. That's the statement. That's the name of God. Um, I can go into details as to why that is the name of God. I can go into details as to why it's funny, why it's true, and essentially why it's loving as well. And This statement reflects a respect for polarity, if anything. It validates polarity by stating there's only one absolute. And that in stating that there's more than one absolute, we actually deny polarity in a, I would say, in an even, like, I don't know, what's the way to say this? Thinking that there's like an absolute of good and an absolute of evil is denying the truth of what polarity means. Uh, it's saying like the masculine is better than the feminine, or the feminine is better than the masculine, where both are a part of life. They're coming from different perspectives, if anything, and that neither one is right or wrong. They exist, and their union, which becomes fractalized, and I'll get into details on other videos about what that means, but the fractalization of God within this unity is what God is. This is essentially what it would be, my mathematical definition of it, I guess you could say. Which is much more of a, I guess, left brain way to interpret things. I am pretty practical, but the right brain's amazing, you guys. Like I would be the first to say that it's very important to honor both sides of ourselves: left brain, right brain, masculine, feminine, objective, subjective. And so I might refer to God sometimes as the one absolute, and so now you know why. When I say the one absolute, I'm talking about God. And I'll also use different terms and terminology for God sometimes, including the word God. And that's just, it is what it is, right? That's, yeah, I think it's going to help people understand so I can connect the dots. I've lived quite an interesting life. I've studied many different religions, been a part of a few cults, if I'm going to be honest with that. I left them, by the way. And yeah, so I just have a good experience. Part of it was just because I wanted to know the truth. I asked for the truth, and I was receptive to receiving it. And I think part of what made my journey difficult, but also poignant, was I was willing to experience hardship and hard times in order to experience that truth. And it's taught me a lot of lessons. I'm, not NGL, right? Not gonna lie. It was pretty hard. Wouldn't recommend that path for everybody, but it was necessary for me. And in holding on to this truth, this desire, this even deeper than a desire, but this knowing that truth is what's really important, allowed me to finally have the experience that love is equally important, and that they need each other. I like to say that love and truth are two sides of the same coin, because love can be it's a very diverse thing. I would say in the English language, it's we lack the true breadth of and breadth. I don't know, the capacity to quantify the variations that love comes in. Especially, like I said, English language, we say love, and it's kind of vague. It's left extremely vague, and I don't necessarily like it. I got to work with what we got, though. Just like the word God. I don't necessarily like it, but I got to work with what we got. And so that's what I'm doing. And I'll throw out my own terminology, or other religions' terminology when I can, when I feel like it's relevant. But there's definitely a path that I'm on. There's definitely something that God has put in my heart to give to the world, and it's to help all of us. Like it's not something that I'm supposed to covet and keep just for myself. And in doing so, I would be harming myself essentially. And so, in sharing this, it's a challenge. Believe it or not, I don't necessarily like to get in front of a camera and talk. It's not something that I'm super keen on. I'm getting more comfortable with it. Is what I'm going to say. And I know it's important, and that's part of the path too. Is just like, yes, comfort's important. We shouldn't be miserable. At the same time, it's good that we challenge ourselves. It's in alignment with life, I guess is the best way to say it. And there's different seasons. Sometimes they're gonna be more challenging. Sometimes things are gonna be more comfortable. And neither part is bad or necessarily evil. Even it's just it is what it is. It's a great phrase, but it helps us understand that things are the way that they are, and us attempting to change how things work is an act of delusion. And that's one of the things that I've been blessed with, is because of my longing for the truth has given me great discernment, and it's exposed me to a lot of individuals, institutions, and things that are living, I would say, out of alignment with the truth, and thus live in a certain degree of delusion. And I've been able to see through God that delusion is like it's like it's the cause of evil. It's the cause of all of the harm, the real heavy negative stuff that we experience as humanity. And so, getting out of delusion should be a huge priority if we're experiencing a lot of hardship. Um, because even when physical circumstances might be unfavorable, if we're not in a delusional state of mind, it's not comfortable, but it's not the end of the world, I guess is the best way to say it. And I'll go into other details on another video with that. And I want to keep this as shorter ones, maybe 15-minute increments, just to kind of start things out. I like long form content, so I'll try to do that too. But each subject, I guess, I'll try to keep down, And so that's kind of my introduction. That's my thing that I'm going with, and just a little bit of background, I guess, since I got a little more time. I'm going by the name Kika. Now, that's not my birth name, but it's a translation as close as I can really get with the language here. But I kind of ended up, in a nutshell, dropping my old life and then moving to a completely new place. And for me, this place had great spiritual significance. And I also do not recommend that people do this. All right, this is not something that I would recommend people do, especially here, specifically here. I want to say that I ended up losing everything. I can't say everything, but just a lot of my material. Okay, let's be honest here. All of my material wealth was essentially gone in the process of moving here, and I got some very harsh lessons right off the bat. And so, great caution. In some levels, definitely, if what's in your heart, do what's in your heart. Do what God has put in your heart, and if that's to move to a new location, go do it. Not necessarily here. And if you're moving specifically here to have a similar experience with me without really listening to your heart, it's gonna be a bad time, you guys. I'm serious. I'm super serious. Um, I'll get into maybe more details at a different time as to why that is. And so, with all of that said, I'll reveal where I'm at now, which is Hawaii. And it has great spiritual significance to me personally. And I think God put that in my heart because I was meant to come here. And it took me maybe a minute to see if I was supposed to just come here and leave or if I'm to come here and stay. Maybe you could say I'm a little bit on the fence here, but at the moment, I believe it's here to stay, to become a Kama'aina, you know. And the language, the Hawaiian language, amazing, you guys. I got to study it more. Definitely going to learn more. And one of the things here that I really want to be very forward with too is that I'm not here to invade. I'm here to acclimate. All right, especially to the locals here, where I know, definitely my appearance, my speech patterns, I would be considered an outsider by far. But I have the aloha spirit, you guys. I really truly do. And so, with that said, I'll keep making videos. I'll keep updating stuff. Much love, much love. I'm still working on an ending segment, so I'll just say, peace out, love within. I'll catch you guys later.